Cohere has launched Command A reasoning model, which provides enterprise grade control for AI agents.
Yeah, what do you think here, Adam?
I was on the fence between optional and important. I think kind of optional in that it doesn't seem it's doing things a little bit better, but it's incremental improvements over a lot of companies in a very crowded space. So you think of like Claude Code, you think of the Replit agent, where you might have something that's good at tasks, but something that's better at taking on the whole project, and they're positioning this like sort of two agent system, and it's actually pretty common practice these days. So I didn't see anything really earth-shaking or innovating in this news from Cohere. I would lean towards important because they're, in terms of the private models that you can run in your own data center, they're one of the leading ones, and for them to be coming out with their new agent flagship, I guess, is perhaps noteworthy, in that regard. So on the fence there.
Okay, important supplier coming out with kind of a commodity announcement. What do you think, Hironokash?
I was important on this one for the similar reasons that Adam mentioned. While the announcement itself or the model itself is not something really special, but coming from Cohere, they are, I think, one of the top 5 vendors in this space. So I think important from that aspect.
Alrighty. So where are you, Luda?
Yeah, I was optional, but I agree with Adam and Ankash that it's an important vendor worth mentioning. And the metrics, like, look, they're really putting a really big focus on performance, on security, on it's for enterprise. So it's worth mentioning to our audience.
Paul, I'm guessing I know where you come from on this one.
Well, if you asked me last month, strongly optional, but they just raised $500 million. $500 million just got wired over their bank account here. So they are focusing heavily on the enterprise. I think, to your point, Adam, this is something that people are concerned about, doing coding within my trust boundaries here. So important.
All right. So we're going to go important on this one. I'm on the fence as well, but I agree with Paul, with a war chest like that, they'll make it done. All right, next, Sankash.
Okay, the next one comes from A16Z, and it's titled "Questioning Margins is a Boring Cliche."
Yeah, interesting thing here. I'm going to give it to you in a second, Luda. One thing to note is that, let me let you go ahead and we'll have a discussion. Go for it, Luda.
Yeah, so it's a piece from A16Z talking about why they're investing in these AI apps and trying to face the criticisms that in the media and from some of the other VCs talking about the low margins of these apps and whether they're sustainable and how would they be sustainable. I think this is a very dangerous path that they took. It comes out very defensive, and it's nothing earth-shattering in here. That we know AI apps initially are low margin. We know that the companies like ChatGPT, the model makers, are eating some of that lunch, right? So it is a defensive piece, and it was totally optional for me.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what's the motivation here? Like, why are they doing it? Because from an investment standpoint, you want people to believe stupid things, right? So you can make more money by seeing things they don't. So are they just fending off criticism from some of their big funders? I mean, I don't understand the motive of this thing. What do you think here, Ed?
I was optional as well. It's could be considered relevant for investors, not necessarily good advice for them, but at least more relevant for them than for the AI leader. So I was optional on this one as well.
Okay, we're headed for optional. Where are you?
Optional, John.
Paul?
Next article.
Next is Akash.
Yeah. Okay, the next one comes from Google, and they have expanded the AI mode in search, and it also gets new agentic features.
Yeah, go ahead, Ankash. You're on this one.
Yes. So, John, what they have done here is they have expanded the AI mode to 180 countries, and they have also included agentic capabilities in this AI mode. So, their Project Mariner, which is their agentic product, they have integrated that with the AI mode here,
Hmm.
and it can do a lot of things for you based on their knowledge graph and Google Maps. And they also have various partners here like OpenTable, Ticketmaster, and a
Yeah.
lot of others. Yeah, so I was between optional and important for this one. We have other agents who can do this, but coming from Google, who have a monopoly over search, and getting an agent in there doing things for you, something that Perplexity is trying, some other vendors are trying as well. It remains to be seen how effective this is, but coming from Google seems important.
Yeah, so I'm glad you used the M word, monopoly. Anyway, I had this image of OpenTable and the others negotiating with them. It's kind of like eating dinner with a tiger. It's like, are you going to end up inside or what? Anyway, interesting. So you're on the fence there, Adam. I know from the pregame you are on the fence as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think. It seems I tried to connect to it and I couldn't. It said it wasn't available in my country yet. So it seems a bit premature for me to get excited about it, which is probably why I'm leaning towards optional. I think it is kind of big news, assuming it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I couldn't exactly validate that, and it might be another one of these things where it's like this. There's this incredible new capability, and the experience really isn't just there yet. And it's just another sort of false starter in terms of keeping up with everyone else and claiming they can still do all this stuff. But until I can get in there and actually see it, go and find those restaurants and ask me if I want to make the reservations, I'm going to sort of reserve my judgment on it.
All right, Paul, where are you?
Definitely optional, but I think that watching the B2C world on the task engines, which I think is the next logical step after the answer engines, is a logical step, and they're getting a hell of a lot of data as they explain around the world.
Ludo, where are you on this one?
Totally optional.
Totally
Totally.
optional.
I think it's underwhelming. The features that they're releasing, they've had sort of experimented with. I didn't feel that this is substantial at all. So optional.
All right. I was leaning more toward important because of the, look, they are Google. They are dealing with a lot of the brand names with content. Answer engine optimization is content, much more content focused than search engine optimization. But okay, I'll go optional. But I mean, don't you think our AI leaders should know like what Google's doing in here, given that they're
but I think Google needs to really do it. They should, and I know they're doing it behind the scenes. So they need to take on Perplexity, and they need to really a bold move somehow. And here they're taking like these little incremental steps that are half cooked. So yeah.
Well, and I think
That's rational.
And Lita, to your point, last year they had a bunch of announcements that they screwed up, but the Gemini's gotten a lot better in the last 6 months. Last year we were breathless about what Apple's going to do, and they have done nothing. So I think that big companies doing announcements to get their shareholders satisfied is something we should watch.
Okay. All right. Optional it is. Next.
Okay, the next one is titled Coder. Seems like it's come from Alibaba, and it's a new coding ID.
Yeah, interesting. Our Chinese friends here at Alibaba putting out a new no-code base. What do you think here, Ann?
Another wait and see project in my book. It's good that Alibaba is doing this. They need to stay competitive if they want to stay competitive, but it's a pretty crowded space. And again, another example of where I just didn't see much innovative. It looked like they tried to make it sound innovative, but if you can read between the lines, it didn't seem like they were doing much that wasn't already being done, really.
Yeah. Okay. So
optional for me.
Optional for you. Paul Byer, I know you need to talk to. Optional, no. Paul?
Yes.
All right.
Next.
Luda,
Yeah, crowded space. But what I like about it, where the this whole movement is going into more coherent, more being able to take more complex code, the code base underneath, integration points, making it transparent, making it more and doing the specs at the end, doing the checks at the beginning and doing the checks at the end. So it's becoming a little more comprehensive, if you will,
Yeah.
with every push. So this is yet another nudge in that direction. So I like that, but I think for our leaders, it's optional.
Yeah, interesting. I'm reminded of when the Japanese took the American ideas about quality and then implemented them. It's interesting that these guys are the first the model they're talking about. Fred Brooks, who was the father of the 360 operating system for IBM, and I think put together one of the most coherent essays in his book, The Mythical Man Month, about the complexities of the complexities of managing complex software implementation and design. And these are the Chinese are the first ones that are. So I think they're actually going back and looking at a bunch of stuff that the folks in Silicon Valley are just reinventing. Anyway, I was optional as well. So going optional. Let's see, who have I not heard from? All right, optional it is. Next.
Okay, the next one comes from AWS, and it's a case study about how Tyson Foods elevates customer search experience with an AI-powered conversational assistant.
Yeah, I thought that I was important. I might even go to the point of um, of essential. Let me tell you why. Ankash, if you go below the Python code and go to the capturing high value actions, turning conversations into insights. There's some down in here. It talks about the fact that the system. Well, first of all, it does a very good job of saying the difference between semantic search and keywords and why you find why it's much better in terms of near misses and getting to the concept and so forth. So if you say whatever chicken nuggets and it's really deep fried chicken nuggets or something, you won't get it the keyword search. But down in here it says the system identifies and logs specific high value interactions. This approach creates a powerful feedback loop, naturally express their needs and deeper insights. I think that this fact, which is not that anybody is really working in here, that this is so much more powerful than search interactions in terms of the conversations about customer needs have deep semantic information in it that is valuable, especially in a complex product line. From a national security perspective, I think it's kind of nuts that we have one supplier for 20% of our protein in this country. That's another whole conversation. But you look at the variety of what they have to offer, especially the food service and things like that. I think this issue of the semantics of customer desires that is encapsulated or available if you're willing to go after it in these conversations, I think is incredibly powerful. So anyway, and then like many of the AWS case studies, I think it does a good job of giving you the technical details. It's a little bit light on business impacts, but I was definitely important, maybe leaning essential because of this particular point. What do you think, Ed?
I was pretty optional on this one. It seemed pretty light on the detail. It has nice diagrams and stuff, but I'm just trying to understand what they're doing here that isn't basically like a knowledge graph, like a semantic search index, like RAG. But they sort of like put a big lipstick on the pig, but there's nothing fancy going on here. And as a use case, it completely falls down. They don't have a single metric about anything. So I don't feel I could really use it as a use case. And in terms of a good example of how you can build a solution, I mean, it's a pretty basic solution. Like 2 years ago, this might have been a good article, but I just don't know what I'd do with it at this point.
All right, old news for Adam. Luda.
Yeah, I was optional. And besides, what I kind of didn't like about it, even though that's, I guess, normal. So business-wise, they disintermediating their distributors. So there were a whole bunch of distributors, and they decided, in their wisdom here, to go direct to the customers underneath. So yeah, they're getting a lot of data here and the complex queries, but I think they're mucking around with a business model that worked quite well. So I was optional on that one.
I didn't quite see that, Luda. I was on the board of a $6 billion food distributor, and I don't think they're going to forward integrate into distribution. The returns are too low for Tyson, but I do think that they're trying to get more customer information because the distributors have so much power. Well, it's a little tricky with Tyson's. Tyson's got so much power because they're so huge. So I'm not sure that they're doing that. They're screwing with the relationship, and I don't think they're going to forward integrate into distribution. The returns are too big.
So no, they're not going to sell directly to those customers. So no, but they are going directly to them. So the intent is in the first paragraph. Until recently, Tyson had limited direct engagement with over 1 million unattended operators who purchased their products through distributors without direct company relationships. So they built this app to actually got to them and get the insights, establish direct communication channels, and then recommend some distributors that are in their area. So they're not quite selling to them directly, but it's the first step in that direction.
Yeah, and I hear what Adam's saying. I know it was Alliant Food Services I was on the board of, and we sold ourselves to Royal Ahold. But this issue of incremental choice, this drives a lot of the profitability of this company, like the ability to find another couple of things to go on the truck. Drives a lot of the profitability of the not of Tyson, but of the distributor. So it's a powerful thing that they can give back to the thing. Anyway, Dr. Meyer, what do you think?
And Kevin actually thinks that this case study has a lot of wisdom on the implementation.
Yeah, Paul, where are you?
I'll pass.
We'll need to ask Ankash.
Yeah.
Yep, I was an important on this one. So to Adam's point, there's nothing really new in this one. But then compared to other case studies, it's a good one, right? Compared to Anthropic or what OpenAI puts out, it has good details, good set of details. But yeah, missing on the financial impact or the economic impact doesn't make it essential for me, but important for me.
All right, important it is.
Is AWS getting sloppier, or are we just having our bar keeps raising higher and higher for AWS? We used to be like wow by everything they had.
No, we're staying within our bounds. This just doesn't have any impact that is in the article.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Is it a story? I think it's interesting too, because back to our wins framework, right? This is a company that is not in the crucible, right? But this particular task, that is customer interaction and choice, is in the crucible. Anyway, let's give it an important and move on.
Okay, the last one for today comes from OpenAI and talks about how Mixi reimagines communication with ChatGPT.
Yeah, very typical OpenAI video EE testimonial. What do you think here, Luda?
Yes, so I was actually between optional and important on this one. This is a good story about how Mixi got all of their employees to use ChatGPT Enterprise. Though they tried a small sample with just regular ChatGPT, whatever version they used, and they needed to adjust every person. I think it was 1,000 people, 1,000 employees, needed to adjust the security settings, make sure that the company data doesn't leak out. And then they went to the full ChatGPT Enterprise and opened it to everyone, and they relate how they got everybody involved in in using it, and they did it in 45 days and really see quite a bit of impact from that rollout. So that's a good case, and in that sense. But there's really, I think we saw a number of these already, so I'm not sure this is yet another one that is worth mentioning. So I was optional to important on that one.
All right, optional to important. Adam, where are you?
I was between important and essential. I was important because I thought it was a really good case study. I thought it laid it out very cleanly. It had a few very solid metrics in it. I mean, we don't get too deep into how they measured them or exactly what their methods were in this article, but I thought it was at least an important for that reason, and the fact that it is from OpenAI. And I don't know if people know Mixie, but I'm certainly no stranger to it. It's a pretty high-profile customer. I thought that might make it an essential sort of flagship example of what good looks like.
Yeah, what do you think here, Paul?
I 100% with that, Adam. Definitely important here and notable. And it's case study and it's important.
Essential?
And no, not essential. But, and they got a 45-day deployment there, so they got something up and quick and out. And, we continue to see speed and proof points are important in these things.
Okay.
Important, John.
All right, I'm important as well. So important it is. I'm kind of doing top board, Paul. Announcements.
Well, I think the first announcement, Lou, I don't think John corrected any of us on what he wanted today. So, John, are you feeling okay? Really off.
The smart meter is sleeping.
I thought about overruling it a couple times, but no, I'm in a Democratic mood today. There you go.
The snark and the chalk didn't even come out. So,
there you go. No. I will say that the if I was going to snark, it was going to be on the Anderson Horowitz thing, because that annoyed me. It's like it's such for people. I went to look for some data to trash them on their IRRs, but they've actually had great IRRs. So I was going to go after them heavy, but their IRRs on the three funds have been like 45, 21, and 22. So they're in the top quartile VCs with big money that they're putting. It's hard to put that much money to. It's hard to put, I think at 40 billion or so under management for a VC to put that kind of money to work and deliver those IRRs. That's pretty good. So I couldn't snark them there. I was trying.
So announcements, a lot of activity going on. Next Thursday at noon Eastern, we've got a webinar, LinkedIn Live, about our new corporate buyer's guide, where we name emerging leaders and the challengers and really highlight the huge change in roadmaps and vendors positioning and pricing in the last 6 months. So join us for that. Second, Learning Lab on Monday. We're going to be going over Microsoft Copilot basics. We're having more and more companies roll that out, and Microsoft in particular has added something really. Adam really like it. It's got both. It says work or web, so you can have a selector up front if you wanted to search the kind of open internet or search my documents, which I think really is great for the knowledge worker at company rather than having the ChatGPT 5 auto kind of route and decide where it wants to go. Third is we continue to have a lot of momentum on our conference, which is now 5 weeks away, GAI World. It is going to sell out. It's going to be it is a part of the Boston AI Week, and 15 CIOs and professors from Harvard and MIT, and Adam's going to be doing some fabulous prompt examples here. So really encourage everyone to join all these events. Next Thursday, Buyer's Guide, Monday night, Copilot, and our conference a month from now.
Yeah, and to that, let me add on Tuesday, the 26th, Women Applying AI are having a live event at the Time Out Market in Boston. So if you are in Boston and you're a woman interested in applying AI, even though you haven't yet or a little bit, please join us. We have 270 people registered already.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a great AI weekend. Hope to see you on Monday morning and then Monday evening for the Learning Lab. Important, optional. All right. Easy reading this weekend. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye now.